Good afternoon, guys, and wakey out there. I'm Rhoda Young Live, and we are on the scene. And we're starting a little bit early today, guys. We're here. Um, I would like to first open this up with a little bit of music from his mother. She's gonna give us a little words of encouragement here on the Rhoda Young Live show.
Truth is I'm tired, options are few. I'm trying to pray, but where are you? I'm all churched out, hurt and abused. That's all I can give you,
All
Rhoda.
right, and thank you for that, guys. Our prayers and our condolences is going out, guys, to her and her family on this day. Her father was a minister here in Norfolk, Virginia, and he has lost his life, guys, about 2 weeks ago. He passed away here in Norfolk, Virginia. So our prayers and our condolences are going out to her and also her family. We're here right now on this day right here fighting for the rights of her son and also her grandchild as well. How you doing, Anthony? I can't hear you, but I do see you back there. I can't hear Anthony. I'm trying to see. Let me see. Let me see. Can I add him to the string? Let me see. I'm trying to add. This is the first time we're doing this. So there we go. We got Anthony. How you doing, Anthony?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Thank you for standing by and coming in with Rhoda Young Live. Anthony is also going to be here to talk and speak with us about what's going on with his daughter here in the 757. It's been a long going trial and tribulation with this family. They just lost their father, who's a pillar in the community. He's a minister. And the last thing he told his daughter, which was the lady, Anthony's mother, you just saw, do not give up, continue to fight for my grandchild. And his mother said that's exactly what her and her son gonna do. Anthony had a girlfriend he was dating, and she became pregnant. And during the process, she didn't really relate too much stuff to Anthony and his mother about the pregnancy. However, she did deliver the baby. And when Anthony went to the hospital to see her in the hospital, she had a couple there, a white couple there, and there was the adopted parents that Anthony had no acknowledgement of. And she had signed the rights of his child away without his permission. So they come here today and they want to share with you guys on how the justice system in Virginia Beach, Virginia, I mean Chesapeake, Virginia, is failing them here in the 757. We're gonna bring in Anthony's mother first and let her speak with us about what's really going on. How you doing? Can you share with us about what's going on? How do we get to the situation and where we're at?
First of all, I would like to say thank you, Rhoda, for allowing us to use your platform. Um, I felt compelled in my heart to tell my story because you never know who's going through something that you may be going through. But my son did have a daughter February 17, 2018, and she was born at Central Norfolk General Hospital. My son was um, asked to leave the premises when he went to see his daughter to be born. And he called me in a panic, stating that he was turned away and they would not allow him to see his daughter. So when I called the young lady, my granddaughter and my grandson's mother, I asked what was going on, and she said, "Well, I've given the baby up for adoption, and good luck trying to find her." That that broke my heart.
So you telling me that I was trying to look at the video for a minute. You telling me that when you asked her what's going on with the baby, and she said to you, I gave her up for adoption and good luck finding her. I want to slow you down. I apologize for blanking out for 1 second. I want to slow you down. You must explain to them that this young lady was living with you and your son in your own home.
Yes, she was living with us at one time. She had just had my grandson the year before in 2017. Um, when she became pregnant, she moved out. She moved in with her family member, her mother, and my son was still going through the pregnancy with her. But whenever she came to family gatherings, family functions, I would always ask, how's the pregnancy going? What did the doctor say? And I was always told, oh, I haven't been to a doctor. I haven't seen a doctor. And I question that.
Right.
You're not receiving prenatal care. That concerns me.
Right.
But lo and behold, she was receiving prenatal care, but it was privately, and she was going through this screening process, I guess, with the prospective adopted parents. So she was receiving prenatal care, but just didn't disclose it to us.
Wow.
She later delivered at Centera, and like I said, my son was turned away.
Let me ask Anthony something. Anthony,
Yeah.
during the pregnancy, how often did you see her?
Um, Probably every day.
Every day. So did
Yeah.
she ever mention anything about to you about like wanting to have abortion, wanting to get the baby up for adoption, didn't want to be pregnant? Did she ever mention anything to you about that?
No, in the beginning, she was saying that she didn't want to have the baby, but my encouragement was to go. I mean, we have a son together, so why not? You know, I'm here for you. We're gonna work this out. We're gonna get through it. And through the whole pregnancy, I was there. I was supportive. I didn't understand how come, you didn't go to a doctor's appointments. When I attended doctor's appointment for my son and the birth of my son, and she went to the emergency room to have the baby, and I asked her, well, how come you didn't, come pick me up? So I made my way to the hospital, and I found what floor she was, got a name tag. As soon as I get to the door of the delivery room, that's when a nurse came out and asked me who was I. Later on, I was told that they heard a commotion in the hallway, which it was me stating why can I come in to see the birth of my child. Later on, at that moment, security was called. She went back in. I guess the mother told her no, that she doesn't want me to come in, and security escorted me down the hallway out of the hospital. So,
So you get to the hospital. Who tells you that she's in the hospital in labor? Who notify you she's having a baby at that moment?
well, no one informed me. I knew that she was going to the hospital, and so I just showed up. I haven't heard nothing from her. No phone calls was being answered. No text messages. Well, actually, she may have texted me and said, yeah, she was there and she's waiting to be seen. But if you're in labor, I just made my way up there as soon as possible.
So you get there, when they open the door, you try to go into the room and they see it's you. Who do you see inside the room with your daughter's mother when you open the room?
I never made it inside the delivery room. As soon as I go past the nurse's station to proceed to the door, that's when a nurse came out and asked me who was I. And I said I came to see the birth of my child. I'm here, saying support the mother. And she said, hold on 1 second. She went back inside the delivery room and came back out and just shook her head. And I'm like, why are you shaking your head? She was like, she doesn't want to be seen. She don't want you to see her right now. You have to contact her at another time.
Did
I'm
that
like, I don't understand.
did that bother you? Was that kind of different or weird to you? Like, was you like wondering what was going on?
Well, at that moment, I felt like, there was another potential father in the nursing room. I mean, in the delivery room. I
Okay.
felt there was someone else there that she wasn't telling me. So literally leaving the hospital, I'm breaking down, you know. I mean, it was just hurtful. I was there to see every single one of my children born and not to see, I didn't know if it was a boy or girl until she sent me a picture about an hour or two later about, saying that it's a girl and she's sorry and that she had to let her go. I'm like, what do you mean let her go? She was like, I put her for adoption.
Wow.
And immediately I contact my mother and let her know. And then a few hours went by, and then I got the name of
Wow.
my daughter.
Let me ask your mother something right now. So I'm sorry, what is your name?
Jacqueline.
Miss Jacqueline. When your son contacted you, say, okay, his daughter mother had the baby and he was put out the hospital. He was not allowed into the room. What was your first thoughts?
What in the world? I mean, I didn't know, I didn't quite understand what was going on, but I immediately called her. I called the hospital and I called the room and I asked her, I said, hey, what's going on? And she said, well, good luck trying to find her.
Wow.
And if you do, don't come after me for support. I was like, what do you mean? I said, why would you give my granddaughter for adoption? I've always been there. I'm the type of grandmother. Y'all heard of Medea. I'm Mima.
Okay.
I don't play. I love hard. I love my children. I love my grandchildren. All of my grandchildren can tell you that I am in their life. I've been a part of their life. So for this individual to take my granddaughter and just say, hey, without even coming to me and say, I can't take her, I can't take care of her right now, just to keep her in her family, can you take her until I can get myself together?
Right.
Whatever. I would have done anything
Wow.
to have kept my granddaughter and my family together.
So once you found out that your granddaughter was put up for adoption and it's your son child, and guys, her granddaughter is a spitting image of the grandmother sitting here right now. She looks just like you. What was y'all first thing that y'all do? Y'all contact the court. So what happened?
The first thing I did, I told my son, I said, let's do a punitive father registry. And we did a punitive father registry form.
And what is that?
It's a registry form that you fill out and send it to Department of Vital Statistics, stating that a child was born and you could be the father. So if anyone would try to, give me 1 second.
Okay.
I'm gonna call you right back, Mom. Anytime a child is put up for adoption, they have to check this registry to see if there's a father that knows of the child.
Okay.
And I'm thinking they were hoping that he would not,
right,
or that he wouldn't do it.
Right.
So we not only did one punitive father registry, we did 3.
Wow. And what was the purpose of 3?
Because that's how adamant we were that
Okay.
this was our family.
Okay.
This was our baby. So my son had overnight a copy, faxed a copy, and mailed a certified copy.
So once you do what you call it, what
The
was
punitive father registry,
the punitive father registry, they're supposed to prolong the adoption on a child.
where it gives any attorney that's representing anyone who wants to adopt a child, they have to check the registry to see if there's someone who knows of the child. Being that we did not have a last name and we did have the first name and middle name, we put that on the registry.
Wow.
So they were able, we were letting them know, we know she's here,
Right.
we know of her, and this is all we have, but you have to contact us when you go to court.
Right.
So their attorney did contact me and said that he was representing this prospective adoptive family who didn't have children, who wanted children and could not have children. And they've been trying to have children for years. Well, they're in their 50s. And he said, can I speak to Anthony? I said, well, I'm Anthony's mother.
Mhm.
I'm also his POA. And if there's
And what is
anything,
POA?
power of attorney.
Okay.
So I can act on my son's behalf. So if there's anything that you need me to disclose to him, I will let him know.
Right.
So I had then texted my son while he was at work and I said, the attorney for the adopted parents just contacted me. So I gave him your number. So he called my son and had a conversation with my son. And he was saying that he was just hoping that, my son would consider an open adoption because these are good people. He's a minister. He's a president of a Bible college. And I said, well, sir, we come from a family of ministers.
Your father's a
My
minister.
father's been in the ministry for many years.
Right.
I said, what providence is that? And I guess he was just trying to paint the picture, you
Right.
know. I said, sir, we don't believe in giving family members away.
Right.
We're all about family.
Right.
So he ended the call and he called my son.
Wow. So you told them clearly that you did not want your granddaughter up for adoption.
And my son did not want her to be adopted.
Anthony, so did you ever get in contact with the lawyer or did the lawyer get in contact with you?
Their attorney contacted me. I was at work doing an electrical job on Shore Drive, and that's when I got the phone call. He was trying to convince me to give my consent over the phone, and I told him I'm not giving any consent. That I wanted my child, and he tried to voice up, how good the family is, and that's trying to adopt her and what's or not. I said, well, for the last time, I'm not giving consent. I'm not. I want my child. And so he told me a court date to come to. Went to the court date, the first court date, and that's when the judge, issue a DNA test. So I swear I probably called about 4 times a week, every day, all day to wait for the DNA to come in. DNA came in, and me and my mother went down to Chesapeake Courthouse to get the test, and 99.99% I am the father. So when we go back to court,
So now you are cited. You are the father. You got the paperwork you need. You can prove to them, hey, this is my child. I do not want my child put up for adoption. I'm gonna take my
yes,
child if the mother don't want the child. I want my child, and I do not want my child with no other family but my own. What
exactly.
happened when you get to the court?
Well, I think immediately when we went and got the results, I think me and my mother, we immediately went downstairs and got filed for visitation and
In
custody.
custody.
And by the time we go to court, well, this the thing. Before the judge, when the judge issued the DNA test, the mother, she already gave up her rights. She was so sure that I wasn't a father. In the back of my mind and my heart, I felt like I was. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
after we get results and we go back to court, the judge stated that I am the father, and he put me on the birth certificate, added my name to the birth certificate, and issued us another court date to come back to court. And so we end up going. I mean, it was a long, long, long process for years. Go back to court. You know, they still trying to convince me for open adoption, which I'm not giving consent to. Um, break down to the visitation. When do I want to see my daughter?
Okay.
Told I want to see my daughter every day. And so the judge, the first week I saw my daughter every
So
day
you
for an
you go to the
hour, me and my
court. You
mother.
telling me you go to the court and you prove that you are the father.
Hmm.
And during the time when you prove that you are the father, who has who have the child at this moment? Who custody the child in?
The child was in the physical
The
custody of
potential
the
adoption parents
prospective
still have.
adopted parents. They brought her home the day she was born. They brought her home from the hospital.
So they brought her home from the hospital. We got an open case where he's trying to prove that's my child. They take
He
and get the
did prove it.
child and get a child to some strangers while the father say, hey, do not give my child away. This is my baby. I want my baby. They still put the baby in custody of some strangers.
Well, what the legal term is, their attorney said the mother entrusted the child to these people.
Wow. Wow.
Entrusted.
Entrusted them. So since they got the mother entrusted the adopted parents to have this child, now that you prove it, there's your child, and by law, I'm thinking you have to have both parents consent to adopt the child. You thinking that you're gonna get your child back.
Well, we were hoping.
You was hoping. But instead, now you fighting just for visitation. Take us there with the visitation.
From the visitation, the first week every day was for an hour. Then the second week was every day for 2 hours. The third week was every day for 3 hours. The fourth week was every day for 4 hours. And then the following week after that, I have my overnights, which is one day on a weekend. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every moment, every second I spent. And my daughter, she grew to know her siblings, her brothers, her uncles. um,
Her papa,
it was
great
just,
grandparents.
she knew who her family was. And
So what happened with the visitation? And so you got visitation, y'all seeing the child, everything seem to be going okay at the moment. Y'all right now waiting for another court case to get custody of your child back, because at this time you still want your child, correct or wrong?
correct. They these people was fighting to keep my child away from me
Wow.
with everything. I mean, they put me through so much, um, through going to see their own psychological doctor that they handpicked out. That's a friend of theirs,
You
which
had to go see a psychological doctor because you wanted your child.
No, because
yep, they try to prove me unfit.
they presented a report from a doctor stating that the child has PTSD. This doctor wrote this report sitting on his boat out in the middle of the ocean. So he said, so the judge said, well, if she has PTSD, then they wanted my son to be screened by someone. So this doctor had agreed that he would interview my son and come and sit, and he never showed. He never showed up. It never happened. So then the garden and light ended up observing my son with his daughter and the interactions. And the report that she wrote was not even entered in court. They would not even accept it in
Wow.
juvenile domestic court.
Wow.
And in her report, she stipulated, she mentioned that the child, she could see that the child knew her family. She knew her father. She knew of her grandmother. She was well loved. And she seemed to get upset when she knew she was leaving us.
Hmm.
Wow.
She would get upset
Wow.
when we would
Yeah.
go and take her back to drop her off.
So the child really wanted to be here.
Yes, she acted out every time she had to leave us.
How long did it go on with y'all with visitation rights?
Every day.
For how many?
Over a year.
For
About
over
2 years.
Over a year.
Do y'all still
Yeah.
have visitation
No,
to this
they
day?
stopped it. When we went to court October 31st, Judge Willis in juvenile domestic court took, we went there represented now, Rhoda, with
Okay.
4 generations. 4 generations were in that courtroom.
So y'all had four of
four
your family.
generations. 4 generations. And the judge wanted, asked if I had any witnesses. And I said yes. And he said, asked me who were the witnesses. It was my father and my sister. So he asked them out of the courtroom. Now, if I would have said my whole family is witness to this child, my whole family would have been excused out of that courtroom.
Wow. So he asked, did y'all have any witness and then put your family members out?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
They
Mm-hmm.
sure did.
Wow. So what happened in court? Okay, y'all got visitation right. No one has caused no bodily harm to this child. She's not being beat. She's not being molested. So how did y'all visitation rights get cut off?
The judge gave them the custody of my granddaughter. And he said at the end, I know this is going to be appealed because somebody's not going to be happy. And then he gave his closing. He awarded the child to them, saying that we could still have visitation. Immediately, we contacted the Garden and Light when we got out of court that day to orchestrate visitation so we could still remain in her life to see her until such time, because we were adamant about appealing it to circuit court.
Right.
And we did. My son appealed it. I appealed it. They heard him, but circuit court took my money, never heard me.
Wow.
We reached out. They said that they will agree to visitation the way we used to visit at the mall, and they would meet with us. And we would meet Tuesdays to Thursdays and Saturday. They never showed. We showed up every day for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. We even had documentations from people that worked in the food court, stating that they saw us there and that they saw that we were sitting and waiting.
They want to know right now, how old is the child at this present moment?
She turned 3 years old on February 17th.
They want to know how long has it been since the last time y'all was able to see y'all daughter and granddaughter?
October 31st, 2019.
So you telling me y'all have not had the opportunity to visit with y'all daughter and granddaughter since October 2019?
They won't let us. And now they are threatening to take my son's name off the birth certificate. So in other words, what they're saying is, we don't want her to know who she is, where she comes from, and we definitely don't want her to be a part of your life.
Who are these adopted parents that has taken y'all? Actually, your child, Anthony, has been stolen from you from Chesapeake City courts. You a great father. You wanted your child back, and the law stood beside this. We got to call it what it is, guys. And a lot of people get offended when I say this. Only the Caucasians do, not all of them, but some of them. The people they're fighting with to get this grandchild back from is a white couple.
Yes.
These people are
Yeah.
white, and they took a black child out the arms of her own father and her own
Yes.
grandmother and placed her in an adopted family because they could not have kids.
Mm-hmm.
What do them not being able to have kids have anything to do with your family?
I have no idea. I guess they think they can find a child and they can get a child anywhere they want, as long as they have the money to do it.
Do you think what the judge ordered was legal, being that her father is living and well, proved himself to the courts, went to the doctors like they asked him to go to for no reason. Um, he worked every day. He want his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think your son was treated fairly in the courtroom? He was stripped of his child and have no visitation
I don't
rights.
think he was treated fairly because I think what they tried to do was intimidate him with his past. And I say that, Rhoda, to say this. Everybody has a past.
Right,
Everybody has skeletons in their closet.
right,
It's called life.
right,
You live and you learn.
right.
Since my granddaughter had been born, my son has been a part of her life up until they would allow him to be.
Wow.
Okay. But my son has gone through so much with this whole ordeal. And it boggles my imagination that money, I never thought that the amount of money that a person made determines the amount of love you can give a child. I've never seen that to be true. And for someone to say you're not good enough to be a part of your own child's life, to me, you're playing the act of God.
Wow. Wow. How they want to know, how did they revoke the visitation rights? What gave them a reason
It
to
wasn't revoked. The judge who's friends with the prospective adopted parents as well.
how you found out that they're friends?
Oh, honey, you got to know people. You got to know people. Trust and believe. Even the attorney, they're the
Their
part of
turn
the
is the
Good Old
city and
Boys
jail.
Club. They're in the same lodge.
They all in the same lodge.
They-
So
same
this was
lodge.
Yes.
inside. This allegedly was an inside job where the lawyer knows the pastor, and the judge know the lawyer, and the judge know the pastor as well. So they all friends, and they all in the same
Exactly.
social lodge. So y'all
Yes.
didn't have a fair representation when it came to that courthouse.
Every attorney that we had,
Bailed out.
they either backed out,
Mm-hmm.
asked for more money,
Mm-hmm.
and the one that did go in court and stood never said a word.
Wow.
Yeah.
Never represented my son, never opened his
Oh.
mouth. Never fought for him, never stood for him.
How do y'all feel that you have a grandbaby here?
Mm-hmm.
You have a grandbaby right here.
Mm-hmm.
That's your granddaughter right
Mhm.
there. If y'all can see her,
My baby.
she looks just like her grandmother. You have a grandbaby right here that have a loving family here. And is not allowed to even have visitation rights with her Black African American family, and the judge that allegedly is friends with the people who adopted this young girl against their will, because the mother didn't want her, but they say since the mother didn't want her, we'll take her ourselves. The judge still sided with the white family because allegedly they're in the same lodge and they're friends, and took the baby from the Black home and placed it in the white home. And the lawyer told them the reason why the white couple wanted their baby is because they can't have kids.
Mm-hmm.
Is it fair that they can't have kids and they stole your granddaughter?
You know, they tried to adopt before, and they were family members of their own. So I was told by the prospective adopted mother. But those family members came back and got their children. Why? I don't know. But we want our baby. There are children out there that really need a home, but you have families out there that want their children.
Right.
I can understand if we didn't fight for her,
Right.
but I don't want her to grow up to ever think or say, why didn't my family love me?
Wow.
Why didn't they comfort me? That's not true. It is not true, Rhoda.
Wow.
It's not true.
How do you feel about the justice system and the court system?
I despise the justice system because it's still not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair.
And this was Chesapeake Courthouse.
Chesapeake. We had appealed to Chesapeake Circuit Court, hoping that the judge would see through all these lies and the deceit and what these people are doing. How can you take a man's rights from him in juvenile domestic court and you didn't prove anything? You didn't prove anything.
And his child was just taken from him like that. Anthony, as a man, as a father, having other kids, even another child with your daughter's mother, how do you feel at night knowing you have a little girl out there sleeping in somebody else's home and there's nothing you can do about somebody, another man taking your seed from you?
Um, I don't understand how, they can split up two siblings from the same mother, same father. You know, that's really unheard of to me. I don't understand how it can be, how this whole court case can be prolonged for this long. Like, I feel like it should have been a shut case once they
Money.
found out, that my daughter have a safe environment, a loving family,
And that
and
was
that
proven.
I am the father. And I don't understand how someone can literally fight a family that wants the child and keep them away from them.
Your son that you have with your daughter's mother, who have him?
He's with the mother.
Do you get visitations with him?
Oh, definitely,
Do
definitely.
y'all speak about what the decision she made 3 years ago? Do y'all even talk about how you get my daughter away? What was you thinking about? Do y'all speak on that?
Yeah, we do. She wants baby girl to come home too as well. She's sorry for the mistake that she made, and all I can do is forgive, even though it still hurts to this day. All I can do is, try to have some forgiveness in my heart, not for what me and her may went through, but for the kids. I just want my daughter with her siblings, and that's the main thing. It's not about the mother, or anyone else, about these kids. That's all.
Do you think the judge treated you fairly?
Not at all.
Absolutely not.
Not at
Do
all.
you think that when it comes to like the black community, being that we don't, normally, and not gonna say all of us, and if you do have it, then you're blessed. A lot of us don't have the means to get the proper attorneys and stuff to help us fight these demons inside these courthouses, and they're winning because a lot of them are more financially gained than we are, and that's how we're losing a lot of our good cases. And we got to fight with their lawyer. We got to fight against the judge being crooked. We got a big fight on our hand, but we don't
Yes.
have enough people that stand behind us and help us out, and show us the way we should be taken. Like, we need more black people that's educated and well to do to start
Hmm.
standing up and assisting each other in our community for things like this can start happening to us.
Absolutely.
It's not fair that your baby is not here in your own household when her own father wants her and her grandmother wants her. Her great grandmother is in the next room, wants her. Before her grandfather died 2 weeks ago, his last thing was do not give up, fight for her. They want their baby. And just because these Caucasians went into the courthouse with a good lawyer and the judge was their friend, allegedly, y'all child was stolen from y'all. How do that make you feel as a woman?
It makes me feel, as a mother, it breaks my heart. As a grandmother, it makes me angry to what the system is capable of and what people are capable of if you have the right financial resources. Regardless if it's right or wrong, you would think that justice would prevail in the court system. It does not. Justice has a color.
Wow.
Justice does have a color.
Someone said earlier today when I said I'm gonna bring this story to us live. Someone said they're so sick and tired of us seeing bringing up the race thing. Won't we just get past that part?
It's not a race thing for me. Because if you look at me, I'm fair skinned. My great grandfather was white. So it's not a race thing. What it is to me, it's a linkage. It's a heritage thing.
Wow.
It's what's right. How would they feel if the shoe was on the other foot and I took your child and I took you through what you're taking us through? This family, my grandson, Aiden, asked me last night about his sister. Mima, where's my sister? How come I don't see my sister? How do you tell a 7-year-old that some people took your sister? How would you going to explain to this little girl when she looks in the mirror and say, I know I'm different from you? You're going to lie to her? Because now you're working on taking my son's name off the birth certificate. So that's adamant that you don't want her to know where she comes from or who she is.
So they basically want to erase her whole history.
Completely. Non and void.
As a woman, would you want somebody else's child that want their child? To me, like I'm a mother and I have grandkids. It's no way I can just take somebody's child and knowing that the mother didn't want the child. Okay, fine. I take your child. The mother don't want the child. But here come the father and here come the grandmother. We want our baby.
Mm-hmm.
How do you sleep at night with yourself knowing that you have stolen someone's child from them when she have a mother, a father, and a grandmother that wants her? How do you sleep with yourself because you can't and your ovaries can't carry kids that you're gonna just go out there and take somebody else's child? How do her husband stand up in church and minister to the congregation about things, doing the right things and doing things of God, and he's doing all this sneaky, conniving, mischievous things in the background? And what church do he minister at?
Raleigh Baptist Church in Chesapeake.
Raleigh Baptist Church.
Raleigh Baptist Church in Chesapeake.
So he's in there up there in the pulpit ministering to his congregation, and he's sitting up there with a child basically halfway stolen because the father and the grandmother want the child. And they're refusing to get a child back from day one. Y'all didn't just pop up 3 years later in her life and say, hey, we found out we had a baby. We want the baby back. Y'all been fighting since day one.
Yes. Rhoda, I have 2,273 pictures out there on the web. When we had her every day, we took pictures every day. We enjoyed her every day. They're out there. She will find it and see it one day. She'll know who she is. You can strip my son's name off her birth certificate, but you cannot strip her from our heart. And trust and believe, she will come and find us.
Somebody said, can you mention the name of the church one more time?
Raleigh Baptist Church, Bainbridge Boulevard in Chesapeake, Virginia.
And if you see him and his wife with a little girl, that little girl belongs to this family right here. They've been keeping this family right here in and out of courts for 3 years. They have also refused now to allow them allegedly to see their grandchild.
We haven't seen her since October the 31st. We made arrangements. They never thought through with it. They never came through. And now it's being said we never contacted them to even have visitation, which is a lie because the child was appointed a guardian ad litem. The guardian ad litem is very aware of what's going on. She's very aware that we reached out to her through her. Wouldn't that be the proper channel to reach out to the child's attorney to make the same visitations that we made before? And we did it the same day we came out of court. We were supposed to meet that Thursday. They never showed.
Can you do me a favor? Can you look directly in this camera right here and tell the woman that has your child how you feel, have your grandchild, how you feel as a woman to a woman?
I text you on February the 17th at 9:38 p.m. And I asked you, I told you I didn't mean any disrespect or harm, but I reached out to you to ask you to tell my granddaughter happy birthday from her Mima and to let her know that I love her. And I do love her. Y'all know I do love her. I'm still standing. Before my father passed, he left me with a scripture. First King, chapter 3, verse 16 through 28. If any of you are familiar with the story of the two women that lived in a home together, and they both gave birth to a child, two sons. One had fell asleep and rolled over and suffocated her son. And when she realized her son was dead, she got up and went to the other woman's room and switched babies. But the mother knew her child. When she went before the king to ask King Solomon to help her or to solve the issue of this child, King Solomon decided he was going to cut the child in half. But only the real mother would cry out and say, no, let her live. So I say this to you. If you have to take her, let her live. Let her live knowing who she really is. Don't allow her to grow up wondering if we care, because we do. And I lift my baby girl up every day and pray. Those of you that know me and that have touched and agreed with me, I want to say thank you. But we're still fighting and we're still standing. I have a GoFundMe page. It's called hashtag no consent. And we are still not consenting. You may take my son's rights illegally and think that you have justification for doing it. But you cannot take our love for baby girl. I hope you hear me and I hope you see me, because I'm not going to stop. I'm still going to cry loud. I'm still going to cry loud because what y'all doing is wrong. This is happening to my son, and I'm sure it happens to others. Money talks. But I pray that Yahweh will return my baby girl home to her family and reunite her with her siblings. These children are growing up knowing they have a sister out there and feel like they will never ever see her again. I hate to ruin a child's dream. I believe in faith, and I'm trusting and I'm still believing. And I pray that y'all will lift us up in prayer. I love this little girl, y'all, with all my heart, everything that's within me. And I pray that she's returned. I pray that this minister find it in his heart to release this child. I pray that this woman find it in her heart. You want to be a mother so badly. Do it the right way. Do it the right way. If you have to adopt, do it the right way. Don't destroy a family to make a family.
Wow. Wow. And that's deep. Do it the right way. Do it the right way. Don't destroy a family to make your own family. Anthony, if you had this your opportunity, because the judge will see this video. His lawyer gonna see it. That pastor of the church gonna see it. His whole congregation gonna see it. And they're gonna look at that little girl and know that she do not belong with them. They gonna see it. The world see it. They gonna know when they look at that little girl, she do not belongs with them. They did not get her the way they're supposed to have gotten her. Anthony, looking at thing, if you got to speak out to the judge, speak out to the judge how you feel and how he has torn your heart out your chest. Speak to him.
I just pray that the judge find in his heart to bring my daughter home to see that the whole time I've been railroaded. I've been railroaded the whole time, and it's a lot of holes in this whole case situation. And even a blind man can see that these people took this child, and for them to continue to let this go on like this, it ain't right. It ain't right at all. But y'all will prevail. Just
And you
bring my
hit it
baby
here
home. That's
first.
all.
You want your baby home. Is there anything else y'all would like to say to Facebook, the courts, the mother that want to be a mother, the father that want to be a father to somebody else's child? Is there anything else you would like to say to them while we're here?
It's
If you
already
have
been
a
said.
heart, do what's right. Just do what's right. And if you don't do what's right, that speaks volume too.
Wow.
That tells me what type of people will be raising my granddaughter
Wow.
and how you will be raising her.
Wow.
Because you will be raising her in a lie.
Wow.
You'll be raising her up in a lie.
Wow.
And if you say to me, to my face, that's love, I don't like your kind of love.
Wow. That's deep. Thank you, Anthony, for tuning in on Rhoda Young Live. And I hope and pray that this video get in the hands of the proper people. I'm praying here with you and your mother today that God will see fit that these people will find it and the judge will find in their heart to allow that child to come home, to have that child outside of her home and to place her with strangers, even outside her own race, when she have a loving family here that won't hurt. It's like stealing. It's no less than being bullied and taunted. It ain't right what y'all doing. A child should only be put up for adoption if both of the parents do not want the child. A child should only be taken away from the home if a child is being abused, molested, beaten, not fed, malnutrition. A child should not be taken away from a home just because another woman and her husband cannot have a child. The mother herself don't have the rights to give a child away because only half of that child belongs to her and the other half belongs to the father. If a child is going to be adopted, it must be a joint decision unless the other parent cannot be located. And we clearly see that this is not the case here in the 757. This family right here is being tormented, and people ask me on a daily basis, why do I say the word racism still live and is still well? The reason I choose to say racism is still alive and well because you're witnessing it here yourself firsthand. Well, we have a whole black family right here in the 757 that want their child, and the courts decided to put their child that they made in the arms of a white family just because they can't have kids. Now the black family got to suffer. Ain't too far from slavery. And I was speaking on that earlier today when we had kids and the slave master. That's what the judge in Chesapeake Court is. The slave master. They say bring the child to the auction board. And the white folks stood right there and they say, I got $10 for the black child over there in the corner. And the other white person said, I'll give you 20 for that black child over there in the corner. And I spoke to y'all earlier today how the child was snatched away from the family, never to be seen again. As if this story itself, they can't even have visitation rights. And now they are attempting to remove the father name off the birth certificate so they can erase her history. I told y'all earlier today I want my last name back, and I don't know what it is. This child will walk down the street one day and wake up and say, I'm fair skinned, but I'm not white enough. Why is my parents white and I'm black? Come to find out they really is not her parents at all. Her parents stay down the street somewhere else. This child will find out one day she'll see a young man in school and think he's very attractive and start to want to date him. And they come to find out later on in life It might be her cousin or her brother, because she don't know her original family, because these white couple couldn't have kids, and the judge decided to steal this black child from this family right here. I am the infamous Miss Rhoda Your Life, where it has saddened me once again to bring y'all this story. But if I don't do it, who gonna do it? These are the stories that's coming out the closet, because our community and our race for so long and so many years have not had a voice or a platform to share their story. But then there was me, the chosen one, to make sure whatever's going on in the black community when we don't have the funds and the local news station don't care about what's really going on. Y'all can call me and we can share, because sharing is caring, of what's really going on in the 757 behind closed doors that they don't want y'all to think that's happening. But racism is still alive and it's still well. I am the infamous Miss Rhoda Your Life, where it has once again saddened me to have to bring you another sad story inside the black community here in the 757. Until we meet again, I'm the most famous news reporter before Wavy News 10, Channel 3, and also Channel 13 News. Guys, if you ride past the church, maybe you want to drop a sign off and say, send that black child back home to her loving black family. We know that you're a minister, but her grandfather was a bishop too. He only passed away 2 weeks ago. He kept his kids in the church as well as his kids kept their kids in the church. Send that baby home to her family where she can be loved and nourished the way she's supposed to be. And not be loved and nourished the way a woman that cannot have kids think a child's supposed to be. That woman never had a baby of her own. She's pretending to be a mother. She's not a mother. That child has a mother and has a father. If you want to be a mother, go to the adoption agencies where there's kids in foster care that's needing a mother right now where no one care about them. Wouldn't that be the right way to get a child? A child that's in a foster care that don't have no one to love them. But this child that you have ripped away from the home has a loving family. And I'm Rhoda Your Life. Until we meet again. Rhoda Your Life. Rhoda Your Life. Rhoda Your Life on the scene of this. Just like that. Racism in the 757. Chesapeake courts, still alive and well. Once again, guys, don't forget to swing past the church. And if you see that little pretty yellow girl, don't forget she's black and she have a black family waiting on her at home. And the name of the church one more time.
Raleigh Baptist Church.
On what street?
Bainbridge Boulevard.
Until we meet again. Just like that. Just like that, guys. Until we meet again. I'm Rhoda Your Life. Thank you, Anthony, and also thank your family. And my condolences once again goes out to you, your mother, your father, your kids, your grandkids, your granddaughter. Y'all been challenged by so much here in 757. Y'all just keep pushing. And once again, your GoFundMe for your attorney fees to help assist with your granddaughter getting the proper lawyer. Hashtag.
No, NOCON.
NOCON. SENT. Help her get the proper legal team. Help him. Help him. Guys, this is what we got to do. We got to start fighting back. We really need to start fighting back and giving them what they've been asking for a long time. You know, I know things cost money. Everything costs money. But some things you got to do for free. My God. If you knew how much stuff I do for free, some things you got to do for free. If you have the ability to go to court and help them fight this case, and you know you good with this child custody thing, then it should be heavy on your heart that you won't want to see this case through. See, blessings comes in all different kind of ways now. Come on, don't miss your blessing by not helping these people fight this case. Don't let these white folks continue to think that they can continue to do what they want to do to the black community. If it's going to stop, it must stop now. You got to show them the buck stops here. What if it was your child that they took? If they doing it to them, they can do it to anybody. I'm just glad my kid's grown So I ain't got to worry about doing it to me again, but they can do it to my grandkids, your grandkids. We got to let these folks, let them know we know what y'all doing. Call the courts. Chesapeake courts. Call them. Make a complaint. Let's make some noise. When things go on in silence, guess what? They just turn the page. But when we start knocking on some doors, guess what? They know somebody watching, and they better dap their eyes and cross their teeth. Until we meet again, Rhoda Young Live. Thank you, Anthony. And we'll be talking to y'all and we're praying for y'all. Thank you. Until we meet again. Thank you, Facebook, for tuning in. Until we meet again. No weapon formed against us shall prosper in Jesus' name. It's been a year and a half has gone by, but y'all have not even seen y'all own child. Y'all have not did nothing wrong to y'all child, and y'all can't see y'all own child. Just because a white woman can't have a baby, y'all can't see y'all own child because she want a baby. A white woman want a baby. A white woman want a baby. And they snatched the baby away from a black man and took the black man baby and gave it to a white man, a white lady, because she can't have a baby. It ain't this man's fault that her husband's penis don't work, allegedly. So y'all gonna just take his baby? Because she can't carry a baby in her ovaries, y'all gonna just snatch his baby? And there's a whole foster kids inside the system that need a home to go to? This is a waste of adoption. This is a waste of adoption. You can use that energy and that time on kids that don't have nobody, that don't have a family in the foster care. Get this baby back and go get a baby that's in the foster care that needs somebody to love them.
And then feel good about what you're doing.
And then feel good about what you're doing. And then know that you're a real mama. Because you went above and beyond to get this child. You didn't steal it because she was cute enough. If it was my if she came out looking like me, would you still have her? Black would not have had. Come on now. You made me mad up in here. Let me get ready to go. Bye, guys. If I say something I little regret, no white folks already going to get me in the way. All right, Anthony.
Thank you.
You're welcome. No white folks going to get me in the way. I'm Rhoda Young Live, guys. It was my pleasure to bring y'all this story here in Norfolk, Virginia. Don't forget to contact Chesapeake Courts, guys, and let them know we know what's going on with this case. If anybody have any legal advice y'all want to share with this family, please feel free to share this with this family. Drop your link inside the comments. Y'all see it for yourself. The father is living. The father went to psychiatrist when he wasn't nothing wrong with him. The father took the blood test and came back to be his. The father want his child. They still took the baby and gave it to the white folks that can't have kids. Yes, the mother gave the baby away in the beginning. The baby was given away when the mother signed the baby away. Why she did that, we don't know. That's the question that we need to interview and ask her. But that's her legal rights. Okay, she's legally able to give her kids up for adoption. However, according to adoption, when the father is present, he must be in agreement with it, and he was not in agreement with his baby being put up for adoption. He said she don't want the child, but I do. And the child was still, after he was proven 99.997, that's his child, was still taken out, still given to the white couple that couldn't have kids. And it's happening right here in the 757. I guarantee you it's happening in a state near you. You just don't have a platform or a voice for people can know your story. I am the platform. I am the voice for the people in the 757. If you have anything that you're going through, if you're challenged with anything, get in contact with RhodaYoungTV at gmail.com. Once again, if you have a story, get in contact with RhodaYoungTV at gmail.com. And I will do my best to share your story to make sure you won't be the next victim of the KKKs. I'm Rhoda Young Live.